Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and I hope that this video finds you well. Happy Easter. Christ is risen. The tomb is empty. Let's talk about this. The far left extremist Democrats are threatening to unleash absolute hell on Trump and Trump administration when they take back power. Ladies and gentlemen, and we see with the protests, with the violence on the streets right now, when the Democrats are saying nothing, they're cheering it on. Nancy Mace just posted a video a few hours ago of being confronted by a LGBTQ guy in a store who cussed her out, yelled at her. Democrats, crickets. No one says anything about it. Nobody cares. Also, we have the Supreme Court, two of the descendants who did not vote with the left on stopping Trump from deporting illegal criminals. They have came out and rebuked them openly and publicly. We're going to get into all of that, ladies and gentlemen. But do me a huge favor. Smash that thumbs up. Subscribe, leave me a comment. Where are you tuning in from and how did you spend your Easter? I love reading your comments. And before we continue, ladies and gentlemen, today's sponsor is Verity Metals. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are interested in getting your hands on some physical constitutional money, which is gold and silver, Verity Metals is the company for you. This is a faith-based, family-owned company, patriots, Trump supporters, and they love the patriot community. They'll give you free silver on your next order when you mention that Vlad sent you. Call or text 480-717-9081. Mention Vlad. Links are down below in the description. Awesome. Let's get right into it. We're going first thing into this. Representative Jamie Rascin promises retaliation for those unleashing, quote, fascist chaos on America when Democrats return to power. I'm going to play you this clip right. By the way, this is the same guy who wanted to, on January 6, 2025, to not certify Trump's win and go into wartime law so that Congress is protected by the military.
So I like that idea, and it's a compliment to something that we need to be doing right now, which is engaging in far more work of transnational democratic solidarity with the democratic governments and the democratic movements and peoples and parties of the world to try to prevent the spread of the lawlessness and the fascist chaos that's been unleashed.
Now listen to this.
But implicit in it should be the idea that if and when we come back to power, and we will, we are not going to look kindly upon people who facilitated, to use a word of the day, who facilitated authoritarianism in our country. That's an assault on our Constitution and on our people.
Yeah. Now, we all understand what he's saying here. He's talking about Donald Trump and the Trump administration. But my question is this: if Trump is an authoritarian leader, how the heck are you ever going to get back to power? Do authoritarian leaders hold elections? Do authoritarian leaders allow the a party that is, the other party to run campaigns? Or do authoritarian leaders allow you to be on the ballot? See, the authoritarian is not Donald Trump. It is the Democrats. You pigs and lowlifes tried to take him off 16 different states off the ballot. You tried to imprison him on bogus financial fraud in New York under Letitia James. And now we know that it is Letitia James who's been committing mortgage and bank loan fraud for over 2 decades. See, if Trump is such an authoritarian, you will never get to power. There won't be any more elections. But the fact that they admit there are going to be elections and they might win them, they are telling you Trump is not an authoritarian. We're just using fancy words. Ladies and gentlemen, to hear me correctly and make no mistake about it, if you think that the Democrat put the American country and Trump and his people through hell between 2021, 22, 23, and 24, if we lose the 2026 midterm election and then in 2028 we lose the presidency to a Democrat, we haven't seen anything yet. Do you think they're going to just let Trump ride off into the sunset? They want to see him in prison. They want to see him dead. These are sick, sick people. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, get out, vote, register voters, start registering new voters for Trump and Republicans now. Don't wait till we're a month or weeks away from the election. Now. We need to make sure that the Democrat Party is gone forever. Their approval rating right now is under 25%. This is the worst approval rating of any political party in American history ever. We got to use that to our advantage. Now, let's continue. I'm going to show you this. Right? So he says we're going to, unleash hell on them. This is Nancy Mace. She posted this. She wrote, some unhinged lunatic, a man wearing Daisy Dukes at a makeup store, got in my face today. Democrats are nuts. So I went off and I won't be backing down. I hold the line 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Try me. By the way, excuse me for the language in this video. It gets dirty.
I do them every year. You want to keep going? Do you want to keep going and keep harassing me? You could have gone to a dozen town halls last year.
I asked if you're doing any more this year. It was one simple question.
Yeah.
Are you doing a
I've already done one. I'll do plenty more.
This year was a simple question.
You're always invited.
Okay, sweet. Well,
And by the way, I voted for gay marriage twice.
What does that have to do with
So
me?
I'm just saying, it has everything to do with you.
Do you think everything about me has to do with gay
I
marriage?
do,
That's
absolutely.
Your first stance when
Yep.
you speak with me?
Absolutely.
There's no other humane
If you want to get in my
conversation you
face
can have
about
about
town
me?
halls, you should have shown up
There's
to
no
one
other
last
humane
year.
thing you can talk about me just saying, oh, I support
Uh-huh.
gay marriage.
Yeah.
That's the
Because
only
you're
thing
getting
you
in
have
my
to
face
say.
about a town hall. You
All I
could
was
have gone
asking one
last year.
simple question from
Would
right
you
over
like
here
me-
is if you have any chance to have more town halls this year.
I have town
That was
halls
one
every year.
question.
I have over a dozen
Okay.
every year.
Great. That was my entire question. You didn't have to
Yeah.
go into the spiel about
You
everything
could have
else you wanted to.
come to any of them last year.
Okay. And I'm
I had
asking you
over a
about this year, not
dozen.
2024. But
Where
we're
were
in a
you the
new
year
right?
before that?
Okay.
Or the year before that?
It was a simple
Oh,
question. I
because
asked
you know
if
what?
have
Because you
any more that
people
you're
on the
going to
left
this year
are
or not.
crazy.
So I'm
You're
on the left.
absolutely fucking crazy.
I'm absolutely fucking
You are.
crazy.
And get out of my face.
You're insane.
Goodbye.
You're insane.
Fuck you.
You're gonna fuck me. You're
Yep.
gonna be voted
Bye.
out so fast this year. I
I'm
can't
not.
wait for you to fucking
I'm not.
go
I
into
won
the
by
door.
so much.
You're a disgrace to this state. That's what you are. You're a disgrace. I asked you a simple question, and you just to go on this tirade and tell me "fuck you."
Yeah, fuck you.
Disgusting.
Get out of my face.
Fuck you.
Get out of my face. Try it again. What's your
Now, this guy confronts her, this man, this grown man, confronts Nancy Mace, a female, at the store. And Democrats, if you go on X, you're going to see Democrats from politicians, congressmen, women, senators are cheering him on. This is okay for the Democrats. If he would have assaulted her, they would have been okay with it. The Democrats love violence, as long as it's their party committing the violence on us. But God forbid a conservative does something. Oh my goodness. Now, let's continue to we're going to the Supreme Court. As you all know, ladies and gentlemen, the Supreme Court ruled yesterday that Trump is not allowed to deport illegal aliens under the Criminal Aliens Act of, 1764, I believe. The Supreme Court said you can't do that. Is there a legal way to deport illegal immigrants? It's illegal for you to come here, so it should be any way the president wants to. You should be deported. Now, SCOTUS showdown. Justice Alito issues scathing rebuke of politically motivated order blocking Trump from deporting foreign terrorists under the Alien Enemies Act. In a blistering dissent, Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito, joined by Justice Clarence Thomas, has called out the reckless and legally dubious move by the court's liberal majority to block President Donald Trump's lawful effort to deport dangerous foreign nationals under the Alien Enemies Act. The United States Supreme Court issued a late-night, unsigned emergency order blocking President Donald Trump from deporting foreign nationals tied to the violent Venezuelan Tren de Aragua gang who are being held at the Blue Bonnet Detention Center in Texas under the centuries-old Alien Enemies Act. According to the order, there is before the court an application on behalf of a putative class of detainees seeking an injunction against their own removal under the Alien Enemies Act. The matter is currently pending before the Fifth Circuit. Upon action by the Fifth Circuit, the Solicitor General is invited to file a response to the application before this court as soon as possible. It goes on to say, the government is directed not to remove any member of the putative class of detainees from the United States until further order of this court, right? And so the ruling came in response to a hastily filed emergency appeal from ACLU on behalf of a putative class of non-citizen detainees. Well, Alito, right? And then the Supreme Court stepped in and backed the ACLU. Well, now Justice Alito and Robert Thomas, they actually wrote a letter and saying, we disagree with that ruling. We believe that the president has the power to deport them. And they just openly rebuke the rest of the Supreme Court justices for siding with the illegal immigrants. Now, this could go into something bigger to where it's like a civil war within the Supreme Court. It's very interesting. I'm going to stay on top of this. Before I wrap this up, my closing thoughts and statements. Ladies and gentlemen, register voters. We cannot afford to lose 2026. Let me tell you what will happen if we lose the House or the Senate, God forbid, both, in 2026. Impeachment number 1, impeachment number 2, impeachment number 3. It's going to be nothing but show trials. They are going to shut down Doge. They are going to defund building the wall. They are going to defund deportations of illegal immigrants. And God forbid the Russia-Ukraine war is still continuing. Hundreds of billions of dollars more are going to be sent there. Congress has that power. Remember, under Joe Biden, it was Congress who was sending all the billions of dollars when it was controlled by Democrats. We can't afford to lose. But even bigger than that, J.D. Vance has to be our next president in 2028. And he has to win in 2028. But that's right. Get your dog to vote. Register your dog, your cat, Look, now that the dogs know and the cats know that they're eating the dogs and they're eating the cats, register your dogs and cats, because obviously they will not be voting for the dog eaters. Just have to get that out the way. But if we lose the presidency in 2028, if a Democrat takes that White House, again, they're going to tell the Justice Department and all these AGs across the country to go after Trump. Except this time, they're not even going to give him bond. Do you know that one of the biggest things that the Democrats openly talk about that they regret right now is that Trump got bond and was able to bail out with all of these indictments? They're saying they should have just locked him up and let him sit in jail and rot. We were at church today, and our pastor said a great sermon. He said every single movement in the world, and it actually made me think about what the Democrats were trying to do. They said whenever there's a political leader or a spiritual leader, when he dies or goes away or like goes to prison, something, the movement just dies and moves on. But Jesus, that's what he said. 2,000 years later, the movement is bigger than ever before. And I started thinking, the reason they were doing all that to Trump, they wanted to destroy him, lock him up, maybe even unalive him, so that we just disperse and the movement dies. Ladies and gentlemen, MAGA is bigger than Trump. MAGA is going to be here. Trump is almost 80 years old. Does he have 20 years left? 15 years, 10 years left in the tank? I don't know. but it can't be more than 30 years if it's a miracle. But MAGA is going to be here decades down the line, centuries down the line. MAGA is here to stay. MAGA is not just one person. MAGA is a movement. I know it started with Trump and he founded it and started it, but MAGA is bigger than Trump. It outgrew Trump. Look at all these other MAGA candidates. People say, many Republican conservatives, when they run, they don't even say, I'm a conservative. They say, I'm a MAGA loyalist. Why? Because you're loyal to making America great again. The party of common sense. That's right, caveman. The party of common sense. The party of America first. The party of the working class. The party of no new wars. Did you know that 2 days ago, Donald Trump stopped Israel from blowing up, attacking Iran and their nuclear facilities? If it wasn't for Trump, we would be in World War III right now. Because Israel was going to, in the middle of the night, shell an Iranian nuclear facility. And it was Tulsi Gabbard and Donald Trump who called him and said, you better not do it. Ladies and gentlemen, MAGA is bigger than Trump. It is bigger than one man. And it is a movement. It's like, it's a powerful movement. And I believe God is on the side of MAGA. We fear God. We love our country. We raise our kids to love this country. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope your Easter is going good. I'll keep you updated. These Dems are crazy. Subscribe. I'll see you soon. Have a wonderful night.